How you doing, everybody? It's January the 10th, 2010. It's late on in the afternoon. It's just after, it's about 20 past 4 in the afternoon. Still no sign of this big snow that we were promised by the Europeans and the UK weathermen, so may skip it all. Anyway, what I was going to do today was I was going to ask one of these macro questions that I normally pose every now and again. And then what happened was last night I got an email from somebody, and the man will know who it is, a man called John, so he knows who that is. And I gave him a sort of brief little repost in the email of what I thought, because he posed a question. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pose his question. And the question basically is, where are we going? Where are we heading? What's going to happen down the road? Now, in the reply I gave to him, I basically posed 3 scenarios, and I said that we were obviously heading towards some sort of a major crisis, because from an economic point of view, stroke political point of view, because we Western society cannot continue doing what it's doing. Right? The markets just won't let it do that. What's happening is, I'll give you an example. In 2007, Ireland's total state debt was 25 billion euros. At the end of this year, 2010, its total state debt that they tell us is going to be around about 150 billion. So over 3 years it's gone up 6 times. So that's not sustainable. Like, that is just not sustainable. So what that would tell me is we are fast approaching a major catastrophic problem with our economics here in Ireland. Now, lots of people have said this before, and I think it's quite true. I think whatever's going to happen is going to happen to small countries, because they're the most exposed. If you think about it, they have the smallest GDP. They tend to have small populations because they have the smallest GDP. You know where I'm coming from. So they tend to be, it tends to be very, very black and white with them. It's either an on situation or an off situation. And certainly with Ireland and with Iceland and with Greece and Spain and a few other countries in the EU at the moment, it's definitely in an off situation. So just where are we? Where are we heading towards, or what's going to happen? Now, that's basically all. So I'm throwing that question out to people, and as I say, I raised three scenarios that I think are possibilities for the foreseeable future. And for the foreseeable future, I mean in the from now to 7-year period. And I think the period will be around about 4 years from now, the 4 or 5 years from now to 7 years. I think that's when it will arrive at crisis, and major things will start happening in the world. Now, it could happen before. I'm just throwing these things out. I'm not a guru. I don't pretend to be a guru. I'm just giving you my halfpenny's worth. But the 3 options that I see it are: all of a sudden, Western society realizes the problems that it has, and it tries to resolve them with, serious internal reform of the capitalist system. Do I really think that's going to happen? I don't know. The second thing then is that because we are accelerating in an economic manner towards, it just doesn't look good. It looks very, very bad. By any standard, by any measuring standards that you measure against. So if that's the case, then contradictions are going to arise in society, massive contradictions between the various classes. So there's going to be a class struggle is going to emerge, and the key to that struggle is going to be the middle class. And that's always been the way. That's always been the way in all revolutionary situations, from an economic point of view, where situations change dramatically overnight. It has to have an ideological base. like the opposition, as it were, to the status quo has to have an ideological base. It just can't be people running around the streets waving flags. It has to have like a well thought out ideological base. So like you sort of go back to France and Thomas Paine and all that sort of stuff. That's what you go back to, you know. And so we haven't arrived at that yet, because I don't see any consolidation among certainly any progressive elements within our society to bring about change, that sort of change. But I think that will happen. I think that what's going to happen is there is going to be an acceleration towards a situation like that. So that's the second one. So the first one is internal reform. Is it possible? The second one is a class struggle, some sort of a civil war, or a major or minor class struggle. All right. How long it'll take, I don't know. And it will come into initiation, and hopefully it will bring about some sort of change in the capitalist model, because it's not sustainable. And then the third one, which I don't like posing, but which we have a big history of, are international wars, and on an international scale. And not just, I'm not talking about just tiny interventionist wars like Afghanistan sending 100,000 troops. No, I'm talking about using the whole full paraphernalia of war, all the nuclear arsenal, the whole business, the whole tutti frutti. I'm talking about big grabs by these countries, these big countries, big grabs by them. So they just seize countries, seize other countries, or lay siege to them. So that's the thing that I put up, and just you come up and you tell me what you think, because we are entered a period where it does not look good, and we're certainly accelerating away from a period which you would consider to be controllable, and while not normal, you know, within the ramifications of normality. But we're fast and furiously getting away from this. So just let me know what you think. All right, where are we going? Where are we heading? But where's all this heading at the moment?